So this is part 2 to yoga for back and sciatic discomfort. So this could just be a standalone little stretch for the end of the day to tag on to the first part. So we're going to work on creating a little still working length in our spine and in through the hips and hamstrings. So let's roll back onto our backs. We're going to take the strap and bring it around the right foot. And never forcing those hamstrings to be straighter than they need to be or they want to be. I'm going to take that strap and find a place of a little bit of stretch, but not too much. If your back is feeling at all crabby, you want to keep this left leg bent, or you could straighten it out. If you straighten it out, flex that foot and get real active and long with that leg. Once you feel settled, deepen your breath. Particularly if you're just doing part 2 of this practice, you might want to do a few preparatory stretches, drawing the knees in, circling, a little cat and cow before moving into this sequence. Or just warming that leg up a little bit more with dynamic movements before you go into a deep stretch. Try to create a nice evenness between your inhales and your exhales. Maybe lengthening your exhales just a little bit more, facilitating that letting go. Then we're going to take the left leg to a bend. We're going to hold the strap in the left hand. The right arm comes out to the side. Imagine you could knit your legs together, cross them over each other, and flex that right foot. So this is really getting into that outer thigh, the IT band, a little bit of the piriformis, just really getting into that area that can sometimes get irritated with sciatic issues. If you feel as if your low back is a little unsettled, at any time you can always slightly pick it up and lengthening it down a 1/4 inch longer. Relax across the shoulders. Make sure you're not creating any strain in your arm with your strap. Notice this hip is still rooted to the earth. Sometimes when people do this pose, they really rock it all the way over. But for our purposes, we're creating length and stability and grounding. So it's nice to keep that hip rooted. Take one more full breath. Then we'll come back. Hold the strap in your right hand. Invite your left leg in. So again, we're still creating length out through the lower part of the spine. We're going to let this right leg come out. And your knee can be bent, that's okay. And recalling, in general, our inner thighs tend to be a little bit on the weak side. Our outer thighs tend to be tight. So we don't want to overdo the stretch of the inner thighs. So I could come all the way into here, but then my hip starts to rock. And it starts to feel less stable. So try to back off just a little bit. You're still getting the stretch, staying stable. Deepen the breath. Relax the shoulders. And whenever you're ready, come back to center. Release the strap and just straighten your legs out for a moment. Feel the effects of that practice. And the goal of our practice is to create more length, more space. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take a hold of your strap. We'll do the other side. So strap around the left foot, reaching it towards sky. Again, this knee can be as bent as your knee needs to be. Notice I just intrinsically picked up my hips and set them down. That creates more length and space there. If your back is irritable, you stay with the bent leg, or you could straighten it out. If you straighten it out, make sure you're flexing that foot, staying really active. Even if you're super bendy and this leg can really draw in, again, try to come into this sequence with a little bit of containment, creating stability. Relax the shoulder blades. Smooth out your breath. And if your hips and hamstrings are a part of your body that you tend to be a little judgy about, can you bring in the quality of acceptance? And then when you're ready, bend this right leg in, if it wasn't already. Hold the strap in the right hand, left arm relaxes by the side. And again, imagine you can cross your thighs together. The left leg is flexed and long. That left hip is still rooting into the earth. Breathe into sensations in the outer thigh. Again, if at any time you need a little more length of the spine, you can always gently lift up an inch or so and set the spine down, the low spine. Not forcing, but just welcoming sensations, welcoming the sense of spaciousness. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come back up. Invite that right leg in this time. And lengthening out through the low spine. Set that strap off to the left. Can always bend the knee. And coming in with that sense of containment, not going to your 100% stretch. When we back off a little bit from a stretch, we're also creating a little bit of strength. Use your breath, perhaps lengthening the exhalations. And when you're ready, let it go. Maybe you stretch out the legs for a moment. Notice and breathe. So let's just do one more really targeted stretch for this area of the outer hips. And then we'll be moving to the couch for some really restorative poses. So 2 options. If you know your knees are a little sensitive, you can just take your pigeon pose here. This could be your pigeon pose, crossing the ankle, guiding that knee away like when we started our practice. Or if it's accessible for you, you could draw the leg in. You could take the hands around as long as you can stay relaxed through your shoulders. So we have a strap here. If it's not possible, you can always use the strap. Keep drawing that thigh away. So you can either stay with that, you could take it on both sides, Or if you know you really like the way pigeon feels, that can be a really great way to open that up if you have happy knees. So I'll guide you there. We're doing the right. To come into pigeon, best way is to just kind of pop up into a down dog. Reach that right leg back. Draw the knee in. And set the knee down around where the wrist is. Flex this right foot. The left leg stretches back long. We want the top of the foot pointing behind us. And if you are a little tighter here, you can always place a pillow right underneath or a block. Try to guide your heart forward. You could stay here or you could come down onto the elbows. Again, if you have any pain in your knee, then this is not the pose for you. You should do on the back version of pigeon. Whatever version you're in, take a few more very deep breaths. Notice if you stay in the pose a little longer, sometimes you tend to soften a little bit. Use your breath, your long exhales to help you soften. And then whenever you're ready, if you're in the full expression of pigeon, you come back up to your hands. If you're in the on your back version of pigeon, you can just cross sides. Careful to come out real gently. I always kind of scoot myself forward, come up onto that back foot. You can press back into down dog if that's a nice release. Sometimes it feels good to cross your legs in down dog. Just take one breath. Even here, if you decided to take the down dog, find length through the tailbone. And then we'll take it to the other side. So left leg reaches up, comes on in. Left knee comes towards the left wrist and melt on back. So if you're newer to the pose, you might keep your leg a little bit more bent, advancing up a little more. And you'll feel into it. Make sure that front foot is flexed. Notice I'm taking my time to come into it, really lengthening through the back leg. Usually I come up on the ball of the foot, create length. Even there, it's creating a little stretch in the hip flexor. And then set the toes down. Make sure the toes are pointing straight back. And either staying right here, coming down. Again, not forcing your body. And if you're in the other version of pigeon pose, keep breathing, come out if you need to. Trust your body to guide you. Use your breath to let go a little bit more. And again, if you're tighter, you can always use your pillow underneath the hip on this side too. And whenever you're ready to come out of this side, if you're in pigeon here, you can gently come forward, come on the ball of the back foot. You could step back into pigeon or any other, step back into down dog or any other releasing poses that work for you. And then just drop onto your knees. When we do a really one-sided pose like that, like pigeon, is always good to come back to our bodies as a whole. So just dropping back once again into your child's pose. Notice your breath. Notice your body and how it feels here as to when you first stepped on the mat, perhaps. And whenever you're ready, come back to seated. So we're going to close practice by making sure we're near either our couch or we have a chair to put our legs up on. This is really super soothing for your back. This tends to be one of the poses I go to when my back is really kind of flary. So it might also help to have a yoga block nearby or a pillow if you need that. So this is basically like legs up the wall, but we're going to do a couple variations and we can use the couch. So we can come into it like we were coming into legs up the wall, getting pretty close, and then bringing the legs up. So I'll have my back to you. But here we go. Lie back down. You can have, if when you get here your head just feels uncomfortable or your chin is jutting up, you want to put a pillow behind your head. That can actually be really helpful. So just being right here, try to have your knees be at almost a 90-degree angle to your hips. Really helps create that length and spacious feeling that we've been trying to cultivate through our practice. Breathe deeply. So a couple of variations might be to keep one leg up and invite the other leg in, either underneath, hands underneath the thigh on top of the knee. Still working on lengthening the low back. Relaxing the shoulders. And then taking it to the other side. You're away. And if you were just doing this as a little mini practice, it might be good to cross the ankle. Try to find a way to stretch that outer thigh. And find the sweet spot. For me, if the leg is too settled into the couch, it doesn't work as well. But if I slide the knee back a little bit, I find that sweet spot where I can really keep my back nice and flat, but still stretch into this outer thigh. And since we did it on this side, let's take it to the other. Cross the leg over. And make sure you found the spot. That's not going to work for me. Make sure you find the spot that works for you. Breathe into that right hip. And then release it. So another way to really create length and space for me personally is to come into kind of a bound angle at the couch. So feet touching, knees opening. Find that sweet spot. Again, maybe pick up the tailbone, set it down. Maybe placing the hands on the thighs. For me, this creates a little bit of a tractioning effect for the back. And if this serves you, take it. If it doesn't, keep your legs back and bent. Notice your breath. Place your hands wherever they feel guided to be. Mine feel guided to be right here. And stay here as long as feels good. This might be your Shavasana, or you might take the legs back to the couch. You might feel good just like this. Sometimes it can feel good to make this just an even more a bit of an inversion by taking your block or pillow and setting it underneath the tailbone. Make sure you're comfortable and finding the sweet spot. If you're truly craving an inversion, you could reach the legs up, come to a wall, set the legs at the wall, or just stay suspended like this. And lots of variations. Notice for this class, I don't think we did any twisting. Twisting can sometimes irritate the back if it's feeling fleary. I just tried to keep this a simple lengthening practice for the low back and creating a little ease for the sciatic. So settle into the place here that serves you to feel a release. It could be coming back to that bound angle, could be the legs bent, could be coming all the way to a wall, or just extending your legs up. Finding your place to rest. And in whatever position you chose to take rest, still feel that lengthening through your tailbone. Your practice is an opportunity to create space physically in your body, create space for your mind, and carve out space to connect to your spirit. Please linger here in your place of rest for as long as you need.